Part 194. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1931. Chapter 1931. Many netizens spoke for her. I think she must be able to be elected as the store manager by everyone. To be honest, I didn't really like her because of all the dirty stuff before. But after watching 2 episodes of the show, I found that she is really a very good person. A good girl. She is young, beautiful, hard-working, and has a sweet personality. So it is normal for her to have a rich and handsome boyfriend. If I were a man, I would also like this kind of girl. Yes, I also became a fan of Chiao Mianlu after watching 2 episodes of the show. So I feel like I really can't believe all the dirty information. She is obviously a very good girl, but she has been slandered into something. That's it. Chiao Mian herself never thought that she would gain many more fans because of this incident. And this is also the first time that many netizens have spoken for her after her scandal was exposed. This is really different from the previous situation where she was blackmailed by the entire internet. Chiao Mian took her mobile phone and scrolled through the Weibo posts of netizens helping her, feeling full of warmth and touch in her heart. For the first time, I felt that it was definitely worth it for her to participate in this show. She not only gained friends like Zhanbo, Shenfei, Sumufei and others, but also gained so many angel-like fans. Asterisk. After the incident, the filming went smoothly in the next few days, and we didn't encounter any more troubles. Soon, the filming came to the last day. After this day, it means that everyone will be separated. Almost 20 days of getting along, which is neither long nor short. The separation is about to happen, and everyone is still a little reluctant to part with it. Of course, for Chiao Mian, this group of people does not include Chiao Angzhen. When the last shot ended and the director called it a day, everyone was happy in their hearts that the filming had ended successfully, and a feeling of melancholy also spread among the crowd. Sister Mian, will there be another chance for us to work together in the future? Sumufei looked at Chiao Mian with a look of reluctance. In his eyes, Chiao Mian is a beautiful and kind sister. Always take good care of them. Sumufei also treated her as a sister and was really reluctant to be separated from her. Chiao Mian couldn't bear to leave them. This group of older boys usually take good care of her, and a group of young people are also very close to each other. Although they don't get along for a long time, everyone has become very good friends. We are used to being together day and night, and if we suddenly have to separate, everyone will feel uncomfortable. Chiao Mian, please remember to contact me often in the future. Zhanbo raised the mobile phone in his hand. We can invite you to the canyon together when we have time. I have been training as a hero during this period, and I will definitely take you flying next time. I won't say anything else. Anyway, Mian and I will be working together again soon. Shenfei smiled and gently put a hand on Chiao Mian's shoulder, but seriously, Mian, we all need to take good care of each other. Thank you. You have really worked hard during this period. Your contribution is the biggest contributor to our restaurant being able to run so well. Sister Shen, you are flattering me by saying this. The successful operation of the restaurant is the result of the joint efforts of all of us. Everyone has worked hard. Okay, Shenfei smiled, everyone works hard, but you are definitely the biggest contributor. Yes, Chiao Mian, don't be humble, Ranjun said with a smile, you are indeed the biggest contributor. Without you, our restaurant would not be able to run so smoothly and well. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1932. Chapter 1932. I really didn't expect to meet you here. That's not true. Sister Mian's cooking is delicious and everyone loves to eat it, so our restaurant's business will be good. If someone who is not good at cooking is replaced as the chef, I think the store will have to close within 3 days at most after opening. Chiao Angzhen stood not far behind a group of people, watching Chiao Mian being surrounded by Zanbo and the others, but there was no one around her. She clenched her fists with an ugly face. This program is over. She finally no longer has to be with Chiao Mian. For Chiao Angzan, this period of time was a torment every day. She is Chiao Mian's foil. If she hadn't wanted to rely on this variety show to increase her popularity, she would have been unable to stay. Tomorrow we will go back to our respective homes. Let's get together tonight, Shenfei suggested. Others naturally have no objections. So the party time was set at 7 p.m. in a famous super 5-star hotel in Weihai. Asterisk. At 7 o'clock in the evening, Chiao Mian followed everyone to the hotel on time. Halfway through the meal, Chiao Mian went to the bathroom. When she came out of the bathroom and just walked around the corner of the corridor, she heard a familiar and surprising voice coming from behind her. Mian, is that you? Chiao Mian paused, and the expression on her face changed slightly. Seeing her stop, the voice behind her was even more surprised. Mian, it's really you, isn't it? I didn't expect to meet you here. There were footsteps approaching from behind. When the footsteps came behind her, they stopped. Suzi's excited and surprised voice rang out again. Mian, the person I want to see the most after returning to China is you. I found out that you were filming a show here, so I wanted to come over and try my luck to see if I could meet you. Unexpectedly, we actually met here by chance. Suzi's voice was very excited. Chiao Mian turned her head and saw his face that was flushed with excitement. Suzi's appearance has always been gentle and elegant, and his words and deeds are also gentle, giving people a gentle and jade-like feeling. What Chiao Mian liked before was the gentleness that radiated from his bones. She has always felt that the type of man she likes is a gentle man. Until later, she met Mo Yesi. I don't know if it was because of the blow from the Su family and staying in a remote place like Country F for more than half a year. When she saw Suzi again, Chiao Mian almost didn't recognize him. Suzi's temperament is completely different from before. In the past, he seemed to be a gentle and elegant young man, but now he has no temperament, and his whole person exudes a decadent and depressed atmosphere. Moreover, because of the strong sunshine in F country, Suzi was very tanned, which directly caused his appearance to drop by n degrees. Even Chiao Mian, who had been with him for 10 years, almost didn't recognize him. If it were someone who wasn't very familiar with him, they probably wouldn't recognize him. Chiao Mian didn't expect to meet Suzi here. When she saw this man again, she felt disgust in addition to disgust. She said with a very cold expression, "Then I am really unlucky. I should have read the almanac before I went out." She had her disgust written unabashedly on her face. Suzi's excited expression froze. He looked into Chiao Mian's eyes full of disgust and coldness, with a hurt expression on his face. To this day, Suzi actually knows very well that Chiao Mian really has no interest in him anymore. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1933. Chapter 1933. What he needs to do now is to be patient. It's just that he still holds some extravagant hopes in his heart. He always thought that after all, they had a relationship for 10 years, Chiao Mian also liked him, and he was her first boyfriend. So, she may still have some feelings for him. The reason why she was so cold and callous towards him was because he had betrayed her. She was hurt by him and she was unwilling to forgive him. Suzi would rather Chiao Mian hate him than treat him like a stranger. She hates him, which at least means that he still has a certain weight in her heart. Mian, do you have to say something so hurtful? Suzi looked depressed and hurt. I really miss you since we broke up. I miss you every day. Shut up. Chiao Mian lowered her face and interrupted him. Suzy, do you remember what I told you on the phone? It seems you have no memory at all. Do you think it's just words, it won't really do anything to you? Suzy raised his head and looked at Chiao Mian's gloomy face. Thinking of the Su family's current situation, he still felt a little guilty. His expression changed, and he said hurriedly, Mian, since our Su family has plummeted, both my father and mother have been admitted to the hospital because of this incident. They can no longer withstand any blow. I am a bastard. I treat you badly, not good, but they never did anything to hurt you. I hope you won't irritate them anymore. To irritate them, Chiao Mian sneered. Suzy, I think you are mistaken. I don't want to do anything to my uncle and aunt. The only person I want to teach you is you. If you say anything disgusting to me again, it will make you never come back to Yunchinj. Do you think I can do it? Suzy's expression changed again. He did not dare to say anything more. Because he knew that Chiao Mian could do it. With just one word from her, Mo Yesi could make him leave Yunchinj immediately and never come back. In the past, when the Su family was still in decline, the Mo family could manipulate the Su family at will. The Su family is even more vulnerable now. Even if Suzy doesn't care about his future. But he couldn't care less about Su's father and Su's mother. Although he is still working at Su's after the acquisition, he is now just an ordinary employee of Su's, just like other employees of Su's. He changed his identity from Xiaodong to a migrant worker of the Su family. But even so, he couldn't leave the Su family. If he leaves the Su family will have nothing to do with him in the future. He is enduring all kinds of humiliation and staying because he is unwilling to do so. Su's family belongs to him. Why should he leave? All the humiliation he has suffered now, he will pay it back one day. Whatever he loses, he will find again. For example, Sushi. What he needs to do now is to be patient. Suzy clenched his fists patiently, pursed his lips and said no more. Chiao Mian looked away from him, without looking at him again, and walked directly past him with an indifferent expression. Suzy looked at her back as she left without hesitation, and opened her lips, wanting to stop her. But when he thought of what Chiao Mian had just said, he clenched his fists and endured the impulse with an ugly face. Watching Chiao Mian's back pass a corner and disappear quickly, his eyes were still looking at the direction she left reluctantly. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1934. Chapter 1934. I hate Chiao Mian and I hate Suzy. Thinking of Chiao Mian's increasingly exquisite and stunning face, Suzy's eyes were filled with regret. He regretted why he broke up with Chiao Mian in the first place. And it was because of Chiao Angzhen that she and Chiao Mian broke up. The main reason why Suzy liked Chiao Mian in the first place was because Chiao Mian was very beautiful, and Suzy was obsessed with her face. Now, Chiao Mian is more beautiful than when she was with him. She was so beautiful that Suzy fell in love with her again. He was thinking about why he was so obsessed at that time that he would be seduced by a woman like Chiao Angzhen. There is obviously such a big difference in appearance between Chiao Angzhen and Chiao Mian. In fact, he didn't like Chiao Angzhen at first. But no man can resist a woman taking the initiative to throw herself into his arms, and this woman is pretty good looking. But he knew very well that he had never really been moved by Chiao Angzhen. The woman he liked from beginning to end was only Chiao Mian. This became increasingly clear after he broke up with Chiao Mian and during the time when he left Yunchinj and stayed alone in country F. So when he returned to China this time, he wanted to fight for himself again. But obviously this was wishful thinking on his part. Chiao Mian was very indifferent to him, even more indifferent to him than to strangers. This made Suzi's enthusiasm instantly extinguished, as if cold water had been poured on him. But he still didn't want to give up. Now he has finally figured out who is the person he loves the most, and he will definitely find a way to win back Xiao Mian. He will definitely cherish her from now on, love her and care for her for the rest of his life, and will never do anything to feel sorry for her again. Suzi thought of Xiao Mian's stunningly beautiful face, and suddenly an urge to become more and more courageous arose in his heart. He was still looking at the direction Xiao Mian was leaving in a daze, and secretly swore in his heart that he would find a way to win Xiao Mian back. To regain his lost love. Suzi came here to talk to someone tonight. After Xiao Mian left, he quickly turned around and left. In a box in the corridor. After Suzi left, the ajar door of the private room was gently pushed open. Xiao Angzhen walked out of the box with a complicated expression on her face, holding her mobile phone. She just wanted to come over and use the bathroom. Unexpectedly, he saw Suzi and Xiao Mian standing in the corridor talking. Xiao Angzhen was surprised when she saw Suzi. After Suzi went to Country F, she and Suzi never saw each other again, and they had no contact with each other after they broke up. She had long forgotten that there was such a big figure as Suzi. So she was very surprised when she suddenly saw Suzi. Xiao Angzhen hates Xiao Mian and also hates Suzi. Because of Suzi, she lost her child. Although she didn't have deep feelings for that child, it was still a piece of flesh on her body. What's more, Suzi never visited her once during her miscarriage and hospitalization. He was busy trying to win back Xiao Mian. As long as he thinks of this matter, Xiao Angzhen hates it so much. She picked up her phone and looked down at the photos she had just taken, with a sneer of relief on her lips. How would Mo Yesi react if he saw his woman rekindling an old relationship with her ex-boyfriend? Xiao Mian, Suzi. Xiao Angzhen locked the phone screen, a trace of cruelty flashed in her eyes, gritted her teeth and whispered to herself, I won't make it easy for you. The humiliation you have inflicted on me, they will all be returned. Asterisk. After finishing the filming of The Meaning of Travel, Xiao Mian returned to Yunchinj. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1935. Chapter 1935. She still likes him. She told Mo Yesi about her flight, and Mo Yesi went to the airport an hour early to wait. After arriving at the airport, Mo Yesi entered the VIP lounge to wait for Xiao Mian's flight. He picked a corner with few people, asked an employee for a magazine, and quietly opened the magazine in the corner. The man's appearance is extremely outstanding. His handsome and profound facial features, noble temperament, and extraordinary taste in dressing make it difficult not to notice him. Even though he had chosen an inconspicuous corner in a low-key manner so as not to attract attention, there were still many girls in the VIP room looking in the direction where he was sitting. Someone wanted to ask him for his contact information, but was repelled by his air-conditioned keep away from strangers aura and did not dare to go to him. Mo Yesi's patience and gentleness are only given to Xiao Mian. When Xiao Mian was not around, there was not even a trace of softness on his body, and his whole person seemed very cold and alienated. Others would not dare to approach him easily. Just like those girls in the VIP room, no matter how much they covet him, they only dare to glance at him secretly, or take out their mobile phones to secretly take pictures. No one dares to go to him. Mo Yesi took the magazine and read it for about 10 minutes. Suddenly, a shadow fell in front of his eyes, followed by a familiar voice, ACI, long time no see. Mo Yesi raised his head and saw the woman standing in front of him. After a cold look, he lowered his head to read the magazine again. His reaction was so cold that Shenro immediately darkened her face and clenched her fists. She looked at Mo Yesi with eyes that were no longer full of fascination as before. There was strong hatred rolling in her eyes. She hated this ruthless and unjust man. Because of him, the Shen family almost went bankrupt. He ruthlessly rejected her humble begging when she was most in need of help and most desperate. The friendship of more than 20 years was nothing in his eyes. For Chiao Mian, he watched the Shen family go bankrupt. He knew clearly how miserable her life would be once the Shen family went bankrupt, but he remained indifferent. He really didn't take her seriously at all. But these years, she has loved him to her core. Compared with his indifference, Shenro felt that her efforts over the past 20 years were like a joke. Fortunately, she is no longer so stupid. ACI, do you have to be so cold to me? Shenro didn't care whether Mo Yesi was listening to her. She curled her lips and said with a chuckle, I never thought that one day we will become like an enemy. I thought that no matter what, we would still be friends. Now that I think about it, I was too naive. ACI, Dad told me that you promised him before that you would help the Shen family. But the premise is that I must get married within a month. Is this true? Shenro knew the answer, but she still wanted to ask again. She wanted to hear Mo Yesi admit it himself. This way, she can give up on him a little bit. She has liked this man for more than 20 years. Even if I am deeply disappointed with him now, my feelings for him cannot completely disappear in a short time. She still likes him. It's just that now she won't let herself be stupid again. The focus of her life will no longer be just Mo Yesi. Mo Yesi raised his eyes and said in a cold voice, since you know, what else do you have to ask? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1936. Chapter 1936 Mo Yesi, I hate you. Is it true? Even though Shenro knew the answer a long time ago, she still felt very sad when she heard him say this. Are you doing this for Chiao Mian? In order to reassure her, so let me as soon as possible get married. As she spoke, she laughed self-deprecatingly, you are so kind to her, but you are really cruel to me. Mo Yesi, actually I have been wanting to ask you a question. We have known each other for more than 20 years. In the past 20 years, have you ever had a crush on me? Even if it's just for a second, have you ever? No. Mo Yesi answered without hesitation. Shenro was stunned for a moment, and then smiled. But there was only sadness and ridicule in her eyes. No? You've never liked me, have you? Mo Yesi, you know, I once thought about whether you have no heart and don't understand how to behave at all. To like someone. Is it impossible for you to fall in love with anyone in your life? Heh, but you are so nice to Chiao Mian so you just don't like me. So even if I have chased you for more than 20 years, I can't compare to Chiao Mian, who had only known you for less than a month. I used to feel very unwilling, but I think about it now. Mo Yesi, I won't do anything in the future. I will like you again, you are not worth what I have to pay for you. She said so much, but Mo Yesi just glanced at her lightly, without any expression on his face. He showed all his indifference to her. Looking at his cold expression, Shenro felt more and more that she was a joke. Why did she fall in love with such a heartless man? Still loved him for so many years. All her efforts may be a joke in his eyes. She couldn't help laughing to herself. Mo Yesi, you are so cruel. Shenro's eyes were filled with sadness, and she said with hatred in her eyes, only now do I understand that you are not worthy of my liking at all. A heartless man like you, how stupid am I to waste more than 20 years on you? I will never be so stupid again, never again. Mo Yesi, I hate you. She was a little out of control. After so many years of hard work, the other party doesn't care at all. Not only did her efforts not receive any reward, the man she had loved for so many years also wanted to push her into the fire pit. She really hates him. How could he be so cruel? Moyesi still didn't react at all, and he didn't even look at her this time. This made Shenro even more frustrated. Moyesi, you hurt other people's feelings like this and regard other people's feelings for you as dirt. People like you who trample on other people's feelings at will not achieve true happiness. Do you think you and Xiao Mian can do it? Are you going to be happy forever? I tell you, it's impossible. Shenro lost control of her emotions, and her words were almost hoarse. Moyesi was immersed in reading the magazine in his hand. Hearing this, he raised his head. The moment Shenro met his eyes, she suddenly shuddered. It was as if a cold air had penetrated into her body and quickly spread to her limbs. Every part of her body felt the cold air. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1937. Chapter 1937. Even Moyesi can't have it. Moyesi just glanced at her lightly and said nothing, but this glance made her feel fearful. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. At this time, a tall young man walked towards Shenro. When he saw Moyesi sitting on the black sofa, the man was stunned for a moment, then turned his head and whispered to Shenro, "Miss, it's time to go to security." Shenro glanced at the man next to her with a pale face. The man whispered again, "The master and his wife are waiting for you. Miss, please come over quickly." "Yes, I understand." Shenro nodded. She took a deep breath and turned her head to look at the indifferent man in front of her. Her heart seemed to be immersed in ice water bit by bit, from the inside out. It's all too cold. Moyesi really didn't care about her at all. In the past, she always thought that as long as she persisted and as long as she wholeheartedly treated him well, one day she would be able to impress him. It is said that a man chases a woman across a mountain, and a woman chases a man across a vale. But why is it so difficult when it comes to her? She has liked him wholeheartedly for more than 20 years, and he has never looked at her twice. Originally I thought it was because of his personality that he couldn't easily express his feelings. Maybe he also liked her, but he was relatively slow and hadn't realized it yet. She has been holding on to this idea for more than 20 years. Now, she finally knew she was wrong. She was very wrong. Moyesi really had no feelings for her at all. Shenro took a deep look at Moyesi. There was no nostalgia or infatuation in her eyes, only cold hatred. She has worked hard for more than 20 years in vain, and her feelings have been trampled on to this point. The happiness that she can't get, Moyesi can't even hope to have. He ruined her entire emotional world. As long as there is a slight chance, she will definitely choose to take revenge. She will repay him 100 times 1,000 times the pain he inflicted on her. With hatred and unwillingness in her eyes, Shenro turned around and left the VIP lounge under the urging of the young man next to her. Asterisk. Shenro walked out of the VIP lounge and walked towards the boarding gate. As soon as she walked into the airport lobby, she heard a scream. She looked up in the direction of the sound and saw a large group of people gathered not far ahead. Those people were waving small signs with cartoon characters in their hands and mouthing. He was shouting something excitedly. There were people coming and going in the hall, and there was so much noise that Shenro couldn't hear clearly. The man next to her saw her looking curiously over there, and also glanced over there, and then said, "I heard that several celebrities came to Yunchinj, and those were all fans who picked them up at the airport. Now these little girls also have free time every day, chasing celebrities every day, and waiting at the airport all day long to pick up a celebrity. I really don't know what the kids these days think. They don't care so much about their parents." The man next to him had a look of disgust on his face. He obviously didn't understand the younger generation of star chasers. Star, Shenro tilted her head. Yeah, didn't the filming of The Meaning of Travel finish yesterday? Today the stars are back. I actually don't pay attention to these things at all. My wife told me this. She watches it every week. The meaning of travel has become a big fan of this show. She told me that there is a very good-looking female star in this show. Her name is Jiao Mian. She likes this female star very much, and now she has become a loyal fan of this female star. Today she told me that she would come to pick her up. Gee, I gave up the idea after being scolded. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1938. Chapter 1938. Do you think she is pretty? Hearing the name Jiao Mian, Shenrou's expression suddenly changed. You mean, Jiao Mian is going back to Yunqing today? The man next to her didn't notice anything strange about her yet, so he nodded and said, yes, she seems to be from Yunqing. Shenrou clenched her fists, and her long nails dug into the flesh of her palms. So, Mo Yesi came to the airport to pick up Jiao Mian? He was really considerate to her. Shenrou bit her lip tightly, the hatred in her eyes revealed, and she sneered, so he can be such a gentle and considerate man. So am I not worthy of everything? In the past, she felt that Mo Yesi treated everyone the same. So even if he is not enthusiastic enough towards her and is always indifferent, she can still accept it. No matter what, he treated her better than other women. She then thought that she still occupied a certain special place in his heart. What made her completely collapse was that one day, she discovered that he could also be very gentle to others. He turns out to be considerate and doting on others. He can also put a woman in his heart and love him. It's just that woman, not her. After realizing this, the specialness she thought she had became a joke. Miss, you. When the man next to her heard what she said, he turned his head in surprise. Shenrou looked past him and looked at the crowd again. After a while, she saw a familiar shadow. Wearing a mask and a hat, Jiao Mian followed several other guests from the program group and walked toward her surrounded by fans. As she walked, she reached out and took off her mask. That beautiful face that was so exquisite and perfect that no flaws could be found caught her eyes. Even Shenrou, who was also a woman, couldn't help but be startled. Miss, are you looking at Jiao Mian? The man beside her didn't know about the grievances between her and Jiao Mian. He only saw Shenrou looking at Jiao Mian, so he introduced her to her. The one wearing white, the girl in the hat and the white sweater, looks pretty good on TV, but I didn't expect that she looks even better in person than on TV. Hearing the man next to her praising Jiao Mian's beauty, Shenrou's face suddenly darkened. You think she's pretty? Yeah, she's pretty good looking. She looks very pure. So, do all you men like this kind of woman? No matter what kind of person she is, as long as she looks pure. Shenrou's tone became more and more gloomy. As expected, these men are superficial existences. Even Mo Yesi is no exception. Her feelings for him for more than 20 years were not comparable to a woman who only had to look good. Other than looks, what else does Jiao Mian have? He was still confused by that face. He was no different from those superficial men who only looked at appearance. The man next to him was about to answer when he suddenly realized that Shenrou's tone was wrong. He turned his head and saw that Shenrou's face was also wrong. He swallowed the words that had already reached his lips. Of course not. The man hurriedly changed his words. No matter how good-looking a woman is, if she only has one face and is poor in other aspects, she is just a vase with no connotation. When it comes to vases, men will just have a fun mentality. No will really like it. And an outstanding woman with both appearance and talent like the eldest lady is the most coveted goddess in the eyes of men. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance lightly. Chapter 1939. Chapter 1939. Is it because she still has value? The man took the opportunity to flatter him. After hearing his answer, Shenro's face looked a little better. But soon, she seemed to have thought of something, and her face turned ugly again. Since you just have a playful attitude toward the flower vase man, why hasn't he gotten tired of playing with her yet? The man next to her didn't understand what she was talking about and looked at her blankly. Is it because she still has value? Shenro continued to talk to herself. Miss, the man next to him looked confused. It's nothing. Shenro sneered and looked away from Chiao Mian. She turned around and said with a gloomy look in her eyes the moment she turned around, let's go. Chiao Mian. You took away my happiness. Do you think you can always be happy? Some things I can't get. Then you can't even imagine it. One day, I will get back the things I lost one by one. At that time, I want you to pay the most painful price. I want you to live 100 times, 1,000 times more painful than I am now. I won't let you go. Never will. Shenro turned around and left with strong hatred in her heart. Asterisk. Chiao Mian never thought that she would have so many fans coming to pick her up at the airport. When she was surrounded by a large group of fans, who were vying to take photos with her and get her autographs, she felt as if she was in a dream. Because of such treatment, she felt that it should not belong to her. When she went to participate in the meaning of travel, 3 fans picked her up at the airport. At that time, she felt very surprised. By the time she came back from recording the show, the number of fans who came to pick her up had increased tenfold. This was the first time she felt such treatment, and she was still not used to it. Sister Mian, can we take a photo with you? Sister Mian, can you sign your name for me? I really like you. Sister Mian, I am your loyal fan, and our whole family likes you very much. I also went to your restaurant to eat, and your cooking is really delicious. Mian, why are you so thin? You must eat well. We fans will feel sorry for you if you are too thin. Sister Mian, when will the filming of your movie start? When you make the movie, we will definitely go to the cinema to support you. The fans were very enthusiastic, so enthusiastic that Chiao Mian was a little overwhelmed. Thank you, she saw that most of the fans were relatively young, and they were still a group of students. She frowned and asked a young fan next to her, are you on holiday today? Are there any classes at school? Several young fans were stunned by her question. After looking at each other for a few seconds, they still told the truth, there is no holiday today. We came here on leave. Chiao Mian frowned even more, did you come here on leave? Yes, several young fans nodded. We took leave in the morning and had classes in the afternoon. After picking up Sister Mian, we went to school. The expression on Chiao Mian's face suddenly became serious. She said with a straight face, I thought you were on vacation today. Since you are still in class, why did you ask for leave to pick me up? For students, academics are the most important thing. I do not support your behavior. You should go back to school as soon as possible. Don't delay class. From now on, no one of my fans will be allowed to skip school to chase stars. At least, I don't want any fans who are still in school to delay their studies for me. This will make me feel guilty. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1940. Chapter 1940, What old feelings are rekindled. You are not allowed to do this again in the future, you know. You have to be sensible when chasing stars. If you still have free time to chase stars after school, I have no objection. But it must not take up your class time to chase stars, do you understand? A group of young fans were excited to see their idols. After being scolded by Chiao Mian with a straight face, she was a little confused. What happened? Why did their idol suddenly become as scary as their class teacher? The tone of scolding them just now was exactly the same as that of their head teacher. However, there is a difference between being reprimanded by the head teacher and being reprimanded by an idol. Being reprimanded by their idol, a group of people were very confused, but they were happy to be reprimanded. Sister Mian, we know the little fan was as obedient as a little sheep. He blinked at Xiao Mian and said, "We will never be like this again. We will listen to Sister Mian." "Yes, Sister Mian, we won't be like this again, please don't be angry with us, okay?" The fan's obedient attitude of admitting their mistakes made Xiao Mian feel like a villain. She took a breath and softened her tone and said, "I'm not blaming you. I'm very happy that you can come to pick me up. I'm not angry either. I just hope you don't because I have delayed your studies. Sister Mian hopes that you can all study hard, because for you at this stage, study is the most important thing. You have to put study first, you know." "Well, Sister Mian, we know," the little fan nodded obediently. Xiao Mian thinks her little fans are really good. Thinking that these little fans asked for leave for her and came to the airport to wait for her, Xiao Mian fulfilled all the requests made by the fans, as long as they were not too excessive. She took a photo with the fans and signed autographs for everyone. The fans got photos and autographs, and after her repeated urging, they left with satisfaction. After dealing with the fans, Xiao Mian planned to go to Moyesi, but unexpectedly she was blocked by a group of reporters again. "Xiao Mian, after you finish recording the variety show, what are your next plans? Are you planning to make the movie Phoenix Flying next? Xiao Mian, what do you think of the scandal that just broke out? Is it true that you and your former Su family's young master, Suzy, have rekindled their old relationship? Xiao Mian, someone photographed you meeting Suzy, the young master of the Su family, in a hotel last night to reminisce about old times. You met just after he returned to China. Does it mean that you have always kept in touch? These things, you are now, does your boyfriend know, will he mind?" "Yes, Xiao Mian, please answer us, have you and Sushi Xiaodong really rekindled their old relationship?" Xiao Mian was confused by the reporter's question. She was stunned for a few seconds, looked at one of the reporters who asked the question, and said in confusion, "What is the rekindling of an old relationship? What are you talking about? Ms. Xiao, is it true that you were reminiscing with Suzy in a hotel last night? Don't you know that this matter has already spread on Weibo? Everyone is discussing it now. Last night, at the hotel, catching up with Suzy." Xiao Mian was stunned for a few seconds, then took out her phone and clicked on Weibo. "As soon as I logged in, I saw that she was on the hot search topic next to it." End of this chapter.